49ers, Packers. My goodness, Green Bay takes the ball, marches all the way down the field. You feel like this thing's going to be over before it starts. Well, Niners defense, D'Amico Ryans, their defensive coordinator, makes some adjustments, settle in, and then do a good job for the rest of the game of really slowing down Aaron Rodgers, stopping that Packers run game. I thought this game was going to be different than it was in the past, especially when Aaron Rodgers faced the Niners a couple years ago. They got overwhelmed by their defensive line. And so I'm like, okay, Packers, David Bakhtiari's back. They're running the football really well. Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, they're being able to pound the football. Well, unfortunately, they only get 67 yards on the ground. A.J. Dillon cracks a rib. He basically out of the game in the second half. Doesn't really provide you much there. Aaron Jones did okay, but they kind of got away from the run game. Aaron Rodgers, everyone's trying to dump this on his lap and dump it at his feet. He's 20 of 29. 225-ish yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. He's sacked, I think, 4 or 5 times. Like, they got pressure on him, but it wasn't like it had been in the past. And so here's the thing. When you have an offense that's as high flying as the Packers and you're not scoring, you can't turn the football over. They didn't do that. They put themselves and their defense in a good position to be able to win the football game. It's a big deal. It's a big deal because if you're not scoring, you cannot back your defense up, put them in a bad spot. And so there are going to be games. And this is one thing that people always have to understand, where you got to see it. 13 to 10. Hey, it's 13. If it's 13 to 3 and the Packers, if they make that field goal, they're probably winning this game and they're moving on. And if Aaron throws for 4 touchdowns next week, no one would remember this game. It's a slower offensive output. There's certain games where you just figure out, hey, this is the way we have to win the game. It's not going to be pretty. We're not going to throw over 400 yards, have 600 yards of total offense, score 42 points. Sometimes you just have to understand what the game is. And the Packers did. Aaron did. Don't take that many risks. Your defense is playing well. You're going against Jimmy Garoppolo on the other side. Heck, they threw it 19 times. The Niners threw it 19 times. Now, they were able to get it going on the ground, but yeah, they had really no passing game. Jimmy Garoppolo barely had double-digit completions. He had a huge one to Deebo Samuel on the final drive that helped set up the field goal. But it wasn't like he was out there lighting the world on fire. So you don't need to take unnecessary risk. The problem is Green Bay, the special teams blunders, and I know people have hammered it. I know they've been all over it, but you get a field goal blocked that would have put you up by 10. You get a punt blocked when they're not even rushing. The way it works in punt rush is you always have someone force the kick to make sure the punter just can't run it down. They run a fake and pull it down. He goes and gets 20 yards. It appeared that they were in a holdup. The San Francisco 49ers were in a return, not a block, but they just had their one guy forcing it, and he blocks the punt, a one-man rush. And then they don't even give their defense an opportunity to scoop and score for a touchdown. Like, if you're Aaron Rodgers, you want to rip out your beard, rip out your hair, everything at that point. Because it's out of your mind how you could think that would happen. And so as we try to dump this, like I said, at the feet in the lap of Aaron Rodgers, that you got a punt blocked for a touchdown in the fourth quarter, the end of the game. I mean, he basically had that thing wrapped up. He was playing more conservative. He wasn't going to throw an interception. You want to put his team in a bad spot. They had the lead. You kick it away. The chances of Jimmy Garoppolo driving the field and getting a touchdown there, very minimal. Very minimal. So ultimately, that's the way it breaks. They get the field goal, by the way, blocked field goal, blocked punt. When Green Bay goes out there to block San Fran's field goal, they only have 10 guys. So there's going to be special teams changes made. That can't happen. Ever. That cannot happen. It's bad ball. So they got that. So they ultimately lose. And we'll get into Aaron's comments after the game. But it's inexplicable how you could have such a big special teams meltdown.